want y'all here. And thank you to Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys for being good to us and giving us news on August 4th. Welcome to NFL Live. I'm here with my boy Dano. We got Mina and Adam Schefter too. Hey man, y'all hear what Jerry Jones said, but just hours ago, Brian Schottenheimer, he was asked, are they adjusting the defense without Micah Parsons? And here is what he said about Micah requesting that trade.
No, we're still planning on moving Mike around and putting him in all the spots that we see him and using our fronts the way we want to see it. And no, we just, we go about our business every day. We live in the moment. We focus in the moment. And again, like I said, I talked to you guys the other day. I'm not going to get a lot into it, but, I expect Micah to be here.
Schefter, you heard what Shotty said. He expects Micah to be there. So tell us where things stand with the contract negotiations.
Well, see, being there and actually going through practice are two different things. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons are not close on a deal. But we heard Jerry Jones over the weekend come out and say that the team is not going to be trading Micah Parsons. And he told Cowboy fans to relax. Don't lose any sleep over it. He may not be losing sleep over it, but I can tell you there are Cowboys fans who are, because this is an issue right now that is real. Micah Parsons no longer is wearing the number 11 Cowboy jersey in practice over the weekend. We'll see how that manifests itself going forward. But there's a lot of work to be done if they can repair that relationship. And if they can't, that's where Micah Parsons is going to have more decisions to make, with the regular season opener now being just over 1 month away from deciding whether or not he wants to play, whether or not he wants to withhold services. There's a lot to work through here, from Micah Parsons saying he wants out and Jerry Jones saying they're not trading him, and don't lose sleep over it.
Dano, Micah with the old silent protest, right? Taking off the jersey, putting on the hoodie.
Just the hoodie.
Hey, he talked about that game, the season opener. Listen, they got the Eagles on Thursday night in prime time. What do you think about the way Jerry's handled this situation?
Another blunder. And when it comes to a star player, it seems that this relationship is broken. Schefter just said they have to repair the relationship. He also said it's a real issue. So when Schefter says that, I'm going to take that for what it is. That's real information. And as I sit here, and we've talked about this a lot today, the two things that come to my mind, RC, MK, and Schefter, is this. Number one, how real is the trade request? Like, how real is it? Is it it doesn't feel in the emotion, in the moment emotional thing. So how real is it? And then two, what amount of money is it going to take for that trade request to get rescinded? Even if it's somewhat real, what is going to now have to be the number for Micah to walk back his public words?
Schefter, what you got?
Well, let me answer both those questions for Dan. Number one, how real is the trade request? Micah Parsons thought about it all week long last week. It wasn't like he on Friday woke up and said, I'm going to request a trade today from the Dallas Cowboys. It was something that he was thinking about doing and was told to take time, to think about what he wants to do, to process it, not to get emotional. And ultimately, in the end, he still felt like he had to announce that he wanted to be traded. We can get insider RC's thoughts on this as well before I go on to Dan's second question about the money involved. Look, we heard Myles Garrett come out and say he would never play for the Cleveland Browns ever again. He'd rather walk to Canton, Ohio, whatever it was. And in the end, money solved the issue. He became, albeit briefly, the highest paid non-quarterback in the game. So let's be frank. As much as Micah Parsons is saying today, I'm ready to be traded from Dallas, I don't want to be in Dallas, I think Deebo Samuel once said the same thing about the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk once said the same thing about the 49ers. T. Higgins once said the same thing about the Bengals. And now we got Micah Parsons doing what Myles Garrett had done before Myles Garrett resigned. Look, there's always money involved. And if and when the two sides can repair that relationship and keep Micah in Dallas and work out a deal, let's be honest, it's going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in football, and he then can say, I thought about things, we worked through them, and here I'm happy to be in Dallas. But right now, there's an issue. Right now, there's a problem. And RC can attest to that, I think. Right, RC?
I know a little bit about what's going on, Dan.
It's just a broken relationship. That, yes, money will solve, but I don't know if it's just going to completely erase him publicly coming out and notifying the fans, I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, listen, we're talking about Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, sort of this back and forth, Mina, but this doesn't just affect that relationship. It affects this defense. What does this defense look like without Micah Parsons?
It's not great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually like the pass rush depth they added around him. Dante Fowler Jr., Donovan Azaraku, nice mix of young and old. But I like them a lot better when Micah Parsons is being double teamed, on the way to the quarterback. And that's the other aspect of this. They have to get to the quarterback. Last year, when they got pressure, Dallas Cowboys defense was 11th in EPA per play. When they didn't get pressure, dropped to 31st. Now, a lot of that had to do with injuries on the back end. They're still injured on the back end. There are still holes at the cornerback position. So I would say this defense is uniquely dependent on its pass rush. And, of course, Micah Parsons is one of the best pass rushers in the entire league.
Yeah, I think for me, this is about getting Micah Parsons signed and also repairing that relationship, but repairing the locker room. There are players in that locker room that are watching the way you treat your star player, and he's going to go out and produce if he's paid, but it's not just about the money. But we do have some new news, though, right? Todd Archer, he tweeted that Micah Parsons is back in his jersey today. Micah Parsons in his jersey today for practice. Brian Schottenheimer said that he wanted everybody to look the same when asked about it before
What
practice.
are we doing?
Hey, he want everybody to look the same. Rules are rules. This is the way that things work. It's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. And when you think about this, we obviously know when you bring Daniel Jones over, it's to bring him over to compete. If you're Anthony Richardson and you're looking at the depth chart and it says that in quotations or, what's your feelings?
Absolutely nothing. I control who the starter is at the top of the depth chart on September 7th. That's week 1. August 4th doesn't matter. Anthony hasn't participated fully in all of the offseason, so that was going to be a natural thing. They told us this was going to be an open competition. So my mindset, if I was Anthony, would be I control who's the starting quarterback come September 7th, not August 4th, and that's very much so the least of my worries.
Yeah, and for me also, too, when it says or, it's better than it saying Daniel Jones first and Anthony Richardson at number 2. But this is not about the depth chart, Mina. This is about what happens on the field. And what does Anthony Richardson need to improve on in order to get that starting position?
A bit of a broken record here, but it's obvious. He just needs to make the layups. Throws of 10 yards or less, so including negative throws, screens. Anthony Richardson was the only quarterback in football last year with a sub 60% completion percentage. No other quarterback completed less than 65%. And that matters because he does a lot of other things really well. I mean, he's got great arm talent, obviously throwing downfield. He's a terrific athlete. He doesn't take a lot of sacks. But if he can't make those layups stand more consistently, it's never going to happen for him because you can't play quarterback in the NFL without at least some efficiency throwing the ball underneath.
Dan, when we talk about basketball, the layup is the easy shot. What is it, or how can someone like Anthony Richardson improve on making those easier throws?
Yeah, it's a great question, great point. 56% completion percentage on throws under 10 yards last year. To Mina's point, dead last in the NFL. Mechanics. So I think a lot of times when you're a physically remarkably talented quarterback, specifically young, you, on the easy throws, become very lackadaisical because you're so talented that your feet get sloppy, your arm gets sloppy, your shoulder and eye level gets sloppy because you're like, this is easy. And then the throws down the field, you watch them make those 20-yarders and you go, how do you make that throw, but you missed the 5-yarder? So the obsession with paying attention to those small things, the mechanics of it. I think the second thing is, Zach Wilson used to struggle with this too. Don't miss. Like, you know, with 20 yards downfield, it's like, I'm just going to step on this one and rip it. And it's like that pulling of the string, don't miss. And I think the second thing that would help, because I agree with that layup part, is they struggled a ton in Indy last year with drops. Not all drops are on the receivers. Not all drops are on the quarterbacks. They were second worst in the NFL dropping the football. And so there is a little bit where he's got to get a little more help, no question. I could also tell you, being honest, he's got to throw a little bit more catchable football at times. You know, the 5-yard flat route doesn't need to be an absolute missile. And the corner route doesn't need to be a 15-foot off the air or off the ground bullet. Sometimes you can just love the ball out there. So that comes with his development and growth and whatnot. But I agree, the layups and then the consistency of what throws needed to make it catchable, and then those guys got to catch the freaking football in Indy, I think that's going to go a long way for
Hey,
them.
but we all knew that kid that was young and could really jump, and every time we go to the court, he'd show us how he could touch the rim,
Yeah.
or the guy that could throw a baseball
Couldn't
really.
score.
So they always wanted to show you the thing that they could do well and never necessarily worked on all of the other pieces,
100%.
and that's what Anthony Richardson has to do.
100%.
You know, we have Adam Schefter back. What can you tell us about the quarterback competition right now in Indianapolis?
RC, we all know the talent with Anthony Richardson is off the charts. We also know that they paid Daniel Jones more to come to Indianapolis than the Pittsburgh Steelers are paying Aaron Rodgers this year to come to Pittsburgh. So clearly they felt like they had to make an investment, if nothing else, to challenge their young, talented quarterback, if not to supplant him. Both quarterbacks have had their moments in camp. Richardson's looked impressive at times. Jones has looked impressive at times. The quarterback's obviously making their mark, and the coaches are going to have a big decision to make that will play out here in the weeks to come.
I think headed into this season, we all knew how big this quarterback competition could be. We've been expecting the Colts to compete, and it was about the quarterback play. If you can get competent play, we felt like they could be a playoff team, and it seems like they're trying to find that answer right now.